Hey guys, it's Trisha. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a first impression on this foundation. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. So I've heard a lot of hype about this product and I finally got my hands on it. They released two really light colors, 00A and 00B. So I ordered 00A and we'll see how the color matches today and what I think of the foundation formula itself. So if you're curious to see what I think about this foundation, then just keep on watching. So this is what the foundation bottle looks like. I think it's really cool with like the gradient from black to nude. And you can see the color of the foundation through the bottom here. And as you can see, it's pretty light. So looking at the color from here, I think it should be a good match for me. Oh, and this is the color 00A Porcelain. So when I take off the top of the foundation, you can see that it has a pump. And I really like that because then you can be really precise with how much product you take out of it, and it's just a lot easier than the foundations that you have to like pour out onto your hands. So I don't know how to describe it, but the top of the pump is kind of like indented to fit the shape of your finger, and it feels really luxurious actually. So I really like that about it. So on the back of the bottle, you can see that there is some information about the foundation, and if you peel this up, then you have the directions on this side. So what it says is the foundation is going to provide medium to full coverage. It is a lightweight oil-free formula and it's long-wearing, water-resistant, and sweat-proof. So as this does claim to be long-wearing, I'm going to be wearing it for at least 8 hours, so I will come back and give a check-in on the foundation after I've been wearing it for a while, so we can see how it looks after that time to test the claim that it's a long-wearing foundation. And now if I read the directions, it has a separate direction for whether you're using it as a foundation or as a concealer. So as a foundation, it says, apply a dime-sized amount of product with fingertips or a brush, beginning at the center of the face, blending outward. And as a concealer, it says to use a small amount of product and apply where additional coverage is needed in a tapping motion until blended. So as it says to use your fingertips or a brush to blend out the foundation, I almost never use my fingers, only with like BB creams, so I will be trying it with a brush on one half of my face, and on the other half I will be trying it using a beauty sponge. Alright, so let's get started. I'm just going to put my hair back and I can start applying it. Alright, so on this half of my face, I'm going to be using a brush to apply the foundation, and on the other half, I'm going to be using this beauty sponge from Real Techniques. Alright, I'm going to start on the side of my face using the brush, and I'm going to pump out a dime size and see if that will cover my whole face like the instructions say. Alright, so I'm going to start with that. You can see it's really quite thick. It doesn't run down the back of my hand at all, so hopefully it will blend out nicely. And the brush I will be using is this one from Morphe. It is the M439. Alright, so here's one half of my face done with the brush. I would call it medium coverage. I can still see some of like my red pimples coming through, but it's covered up the majority of the redness that I have in this area of the face. So now I'll do the other side of my face with my EcoTools sponge. Alright, this is how my face looks after applying the sponge on this side and the brush on the other side. I actually think I like the sponge better. It makes it look a little bit less dry, and I do think the coverage is actually a little better in this area with the sponge, which is a bit surprising, but I'm going to add a little bit more to the rest of my face and see if we can build it up to a full coverage, because right now I would say it's roughly a medium coverage. Okay, please don't mind the background change. I just moved out of the sun because it was really strong and I felt like it was distorting the light. So now I'm just in the shadow so we can take a really good look at the foundation up close. So this is how my skin is looking right now. I think it looks really nice. I would say it's a pretty natural finish. It's definitely not matte because I can still see a little bit of like glossiness on the cheeks and on the chin. So I think natural finish is a good description of the foundation actually. So overall, I think on most of my face, all of the redness is gone. I have a few problem areas such as this one, but honestly, that's really hard to cover anyways, so I haven't really found anything that can fully get the redness away from that one. So overall, I would say it's a medium to full coverage, but not like super, super, super full. I do notice it's trying to cling to a little bit of a dry patch that I have here. So maybe it's just not the best if you have really, really dry skin, but overall I think it looks really nice actually. So what I'm going to do is also take a very small bit on my fingers and tap that under the eyes to use it as a concealer as well. Okay, so this is the final result with the foundation. I think it looks really nice and the finish is really natural, but it still feels quite tacky. So I think this is one that you definitely need to set. So I'm going to set it with some translucent powder because that's how I would normally do my foundation anyways. I always set it with powder. So I will do that and I will be right back. All right, so this is how the foundation looks after it's set. I think it looks really nice. My skin looks really just flawless actually. I really, really like the finish. So as for the color, I think it's a really good match for me. When I first put it on, it looked really, really light and I was a little bit worried that it would be too pale on me, but I think it does dry darker than it starts out. So I would just be aware of that. I think I've heard other people talk about it as well, that it does oxidize a bit. And for me, I think that was actually a good thing because now you can see it just looks the same color as my neck. So I think the color is really good. I would say, like fair skin with just a neutral undertone. If a foundation is too yellow, then it looks really yellow on me, but also if it's too pink, then it also just looks too pink. So I'm really in that like neutral category. So I think this color is a really good match. All right, so I have another video to film. It will be on like some eyeshadow, so I'm going to do that. And I will come back later today to show you how the foundation wore. Hey guys, so I'm just doing a quick check-in. It's been roughly an hour since I put the foundation on, and I just wanted to give you a quick update that I already had to powder my chin again just because I kept feeling my face and it felt like the foundation hadn't actually set yet. So I do kind of still get that feeling everywhere. If I touch my face, it feels just a little bit wet. So I think what I'm gonna do is do just another full round of powder, and maybe this is the foundation that I need to really powder super well and then bring back to life a little bit with some setting spray. So that's just something I wanted to update you on. I'm really sensitive for like how my foundation feels. I really don't like if it feels a little bit wet or tacky still because then I feel like it's just going to transfer everywhere. So that's just my personal opinion when I wear foundations. I think that's because I have normal to oily skin, so I usually get pretty oily by the end of the day, so I really want a foundation that will just lock in place and not transfer at all. So I'll keep you updated on if I have problems with that throughout the rest of the day. And one other thing I forgot to mention earlier was that this foundation is 1 fluid ounce or 30 milliliters. So this is just a standard size for a foundation, I think. Usually foundations have 1 fluid ounce. So that's just the update I wanted to give you, and I will check back in at the end of the night to let you know how the foundation wore the full day. Hey guys, I'm here for my final check-in. So it's been about 8 hours since I put on the foundation, and I'm here to give you my final thoughts on it. So as you can see, I have gotten oily throughout my T-zone. You can see like I'm pretty oily on the forehead and on the chin as well. And if we get really up close and personal, you can see it's starting to break up a little bit on my chin, but actually my nose on like the front part is doing really well. That's usually the part that this will all be gone by the end of the day, so I'm really surprised that it's actually still there. It's breaking up a little bit on the sides, just a very small amount, and it's also going into my crease lines just a little bit, but honestly, I've never found a foundation that doesn't do that for me. So overall, I think it held up decently well. I am really impressed about the nose part. That never happens for me, that it stays on the whole day, and I really don't think the chin looks that bad. So I think for me, this is one that I would need to powder throughout the day, and that's not usually something I would do, to be honest. So I'm a little bit mixed on this foundation. I think for like 4 or 5 hours it looked really nice, but I'm pretty low maintenance and I don't like to powder throughout the day, so I think I would maybe only wear this one if I know I can powder it really well and I won't have to touch it up for maybe like 4 or 5 hours. But otherwise, if I need it to last like really long, like 10 to 12 hours, and I'll be really busy, then I don't know that this is the one that I would go for. But overall, I really like the finish. I thought it made my skin look really flawless. And if you're willing to powder up every so often, if you're also oily, then I think you will really like this foundation. As for using it as a concealer, I did notice before I put my eye makeup on that it had creased already within the first hour of wearing it, and I had already powdered, so I wouldn't necessarily use it as a concealer for under the eyes, but I do think it gives a really nice coverage on the rest of the face. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and that it was helpful for you. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to not miss out on any further videos that I do, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye!